to us. I guess I was so into my anniversary mode and party mode that we have Joe Tacopino on Monday. It's going to be in a real exciting show at 6 o'clock, and maybe another special guest we're working on at 6:30 to come join him.
Okay. Yeah. What happened was I just reached out to him randomly and said, "What about this week?" Meaning this week. And he said, "How about the 24th?" And I said, "Sold." Before I really even looked into. Oh, wait a minute. I think we're not doing that. Anyway, so they are having the habeas corpus for this. Remember, they had to do this when she appeared in the family and probate court. Right. They actually brought her. This, if it is what it is, it's a Zoom, which means I think they will just make her available at the facility to be on Zoom. But if you just happen to be wondering, it is meeting ID 160-438-3738, and the passcode is 407825. If you were just curious about it.
Not that we're telling.
No, not that we're encouraging people to flood the phone lines. No, come on.
No, we wouldn't do that.
No, that's ridiculous. And here's they put the aliens affidavit in here twice. That's all right. Okay, so we're getting through. This is page 40, and we're getting to these statements that, again, if I missed them, I apologize. Somebody else saw them before. Great. I had never seen this material. And it just seems to me to be a flagrant attempt by the Commonwealth to just say, look at this woman. She's a menace. And we're doing everybody a favor by keeping her in jail. So here we are. Justin, the alien. They break it down into the paragraphs, et cetera. I've highlighted what are the actual statements. That did, however, this is setting up how she was, quote, physically and verbally abusive towards him. That did, however, soon quickly change with her erratic behavior, her unstable emotions, her violence, her aggression, and her actions that I did not agree with, that I tried to calmly communicate with her over time, and that progressively kept going in that same direction, where she continued to be erratic, continued to not have any control of her emotions, and to be very physically and verbally abusive. So this was all in September when they had this conversation. He's talking to, let's see, do they have the name of the CIC? That's the department, I believe. Anyway, again, I noticed Kelsey becoming extremely erratic. She starts running around and repeating these same words over and over again. She's yelling, laughing and just maniacally saying these terms. And she ends up saying, Krusty Krab, just over and over again, repeating. Bennett, that's the officer. Where was that coming from? I have absolutely no idea. And was she expressing them towards an individual or just... No, she was just running around, walking around, saying these statements, and among others that I can't recall the exact verbatim she was using, but she was just overall acting erratic, not making much sense. She was definitely highly inebriated at this point. And at one point, she came outside. I was outside with a few of the people on the porch. I had removed myself from being inside, and I'm just going to go remove myself for a little bit. She came outside. She wanted everyone to come inside and play drinking games. And I think she even wanted me to come inside and strip for her. I disregard this. I'm like, I don't want to play drinking games. I'm not in the mood. I don't want to do that. We're just hanging out. Let's just take it easy. And their conversation continues. At 11, reading up here at 196, about 11 o'clock, the party started to wind down. Mr. Alien went upstairs to brush his teeth and entered his room. Officer Fitzsimmons followed and was upset with him. She was visibly and verbally upset. She was in the room. She started to swear at me. She was calling me names. And then she did try to briefly initiate intimacy, which I outright did not. She was too drunk. Did not want any part of that. I wanted to more put her to bed and remove myself from the situation at that point. And her emotions were all over the place. She was very angry. I did try to remain calm. I did not raise my voice. I tried to ease her nerves and just keep her calm. After using the restroom, I did immediately. I opened the master suite door and I went back downstairs. I went back downstairs to remove myself from the uncomfortable situation. And I went next to my brother and my brother Brendan and my lifelong friend Aiden Ahern. She quickly did follow me downstairs, and angrily, I vividly remember her tape, her face turning red and her eyes bulging out of her head. She was whispering in my ear, all that while she was whispering. She like, get upstairs, you asshole, like whispering in my ears. And she was attempting to go back upstairs to go back and talk back to the master bedroom overlooking the first floor. And I was terribly scared of her reaction. I did not know what she was going to do, but she was clearly angry about something. At that point, I was scared that what she's gonna do behind closed doors. On the way back upstairs, I whispered to my brother. I was like, I think I'm going to need your help. I don't know what is going to happen behind these closed doors. I don't know what it's going to do. But she is very upset. She is swearing. She is yelling like this is a history of physical abuse. Like there is a history of physical abuse. And I was scared of what she was going to do behind those closed doors. Tell me what this has to do with where we are in this process.
Right. It has to do with anything. And can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did they submit like an audio tape of this interview?
Yes.
They did.
Oh, this interview. No.
Of this interview.
Not that I'm aware. No.
Okay. Do you know if there is an audio tape of this interview, or did he, whether he taped anything that he submitted? Do we know that at all?
I don't know for sure. I'd have to reread or continue to read the petition itself because there is cross-reference to this material in the appendix, but I don't know.
Well, let's put our trusty viewers on this who are fascinated with this. Come on, trusty viewers, you can all find this out for us as we're going through this.
So he continues here. I'm like, Kelsey, I'm not comfortable. I don't want to go. I want to go downstairs. Like, I don't think we should be having a conversation right now. Like, you're not in the right state of mind. And she looks directly at me in the eyes and she goes, why would you leave me? You just closed my fingers in the door. That's where I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that never happened. We were nowhere near a door. A door becomes very interesting in other aspects. Like, why are you making this up? And at that point, I'm like, I need to leave this room. Like, I need to get out of here right now. Bennett says, were you concerned that she was fabricating something? I have never in my entire life acted physically towards a woman in an aggressive or hostile manner. I've never laid my finger in any sort of aggressive, or hostile manner on another female.
Why is he saying this to defend himself before there's even an allegation?
That's a good question. I have never laid, my own family would disown me and shame me out of the family. It's not how I was raised. You don't do that. You never do that, no matter the circumstance. It was directly after I had replied back to her, like, you are making this up. Like, what are you talking about? I see her with her right fist. She clenches it into a closed fist. And at that point, I look at her. I'm almost like, are you really about to do what I think you're about to do? And I'm in fear of Kelsey getting violent, which she has done in the past. And with a closed fist, she strikes me 3 times in the face. I did fear that she would not stop, and I was able to move around her. I did not touch a finger on her. I was able to quickly move around her. I was able to quickly open the door, and at that point, with the door open and my brother at the door, Kelsey grabs me by the arm, rips me back into the room. Have you seen the size of this woman?
She's so tiny. He's so big.
I mean, he's not a beast, but come on.
He's really, I mean, you look at that. If somebody has a screenshot, by the way, of that hearing with her and then him, I'm like, come on.
Yeah, he's got to be 6 inches taller, maybe, Anyway, Kelsey grabs me by the arm, rips me back into the room as hard as she can, and I'm just completely stunned at this point.